We're jamming out this morning, guys.
You like I left him left for you. How's that going in here? Well, you should have been here to enjoy it. Well, we can turn back on it. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome.
I was not taking a picture.
All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Today is a celebration day. We do have some learning as well, however, some value. However, with everything that's been going on, all the attention that we've needed to spend on certain topics, it's just going to feel great to celebrate people here today. And we're going to start with the red carpet welcome. And want me to get the music going?
If there's red carpet music, then yes, you should make some red carpet music. But if you've never been here for a red carpet music, we'll tell some fun stuff and meet some of the new people in our office. We're starting out with Lance Burwald. Come on down. He's skipping the whole red carpet. 3 fun facts about Lance is he's a really tall dude. Right off the bat. He's also an instructor at Minnesota Realty School, and you have him to thank for me being here. And finally, he runs 2 social media posting series, Dig These Digs and When You Show Houses for a Living. And if you haven't seen either of them, they are darned amusing. Here's for Lance. By the way, the reason he came to Keller Williams, keep doing that. The reason he came to Keller Williams is because it was the only way to stop Jamie from bothering him. So,
Whatever works.
there you go.
You seem real bothered by me right there, dude.
He certainly was bothered, and you can see he's on his way out. Next up is Cindy Segna. Swedish fish and chopstick, and she is a real firecracker to the face. No, actually, she was hit by a firecracker in the face.
Not just a firecracker, a mortar. Oh. And look at how beautiful she is.
At least the good news is she now knows what it's like for her clients to get a phone call from her. A firecracker in the face. Wow! She chose KWPR because they're willing to work with her, and she is a licensed agent in both Florida and Minnesota and regularly travels back and forth between them. All right, next up is Tasia Ellery. Tasia loves art, photography, fishing, and theater performances. And I'm waiting to see that all in the same boat. I want to see the fishing, I want to see the art, and doing a theater performance at the same time. This really is a T. I'm telling you, it's the fonts. It's not me. It looks like a J, but it is 100% a T. And she is at Keller Williams because she likes the training program.
Oh, hold on. I got the shoes.
Oh my goodness.
Did you see the shoes?
Oh, come on. And last but not least is, well, a spelling error, but one of my favorite people of all time. We're not necessarily welcoming her here so much as welcoming her back. Anna Thompson, come on down. The Peter Fender. She is the captain of her pool team, plays every week. She's a cat mom with a kitten named Prince. And she really, really, truly understands lead generation in the way that her boyfriend is a past client. So if you want to get tips on how to truly lead generate, Anna Thompson. We do have some folks who weren't able to join us today or who are joining us in other ways, but Jody Gable, there you are back there. She got her license since the last time you noticed her. Jacob Yang and Maria McDonald Zhang have all joined us recently as well. So we're really excited to have everybody here and have you all welcome and be part of the gang. So we'll move on from there, but thanks to all of you for making us what we are, and that's a great, big, goofy family.
And I know some of you that wasn't the first thing you wanted to do today, but I appreciate you.
You loved it.
He was doing cartwheels earlier up there and doing his little, it was really gross.
Again, he learned it's the only way to make Jamie quiet down.
My what?
Didn't work. Awesome. Well, yes, let's get rolling here. Where are we at? Let's start with our purpose. Serve agents, impact lives. Our focus every day when we meet for huddle is to find out more ways we can pour into you because you're affecting the world one client at a time, hopefully in a positive way. So that's why we want to continue to inject into you guys. And you got the dinger? There you go, good. And our goal, return $1 million in profit share by or in the year 2020, 2030. So that says a lot about culture. If we're all growing together, we're all helping one another. I don't know about you, but I could use $1 million. That'd be all right.
I'd be fine with that.
And speaking of $1 million mindset in person, let's give it up for Colin. He's in the back actually applauding himself. I love that. That's outstanding. So first of all, those of you who do not know what this is or need a reminder, every week we come up with, we hear from you guys people who do something special, something above and beyond. And Colin does it a lot with his calling calls. But one of the things, I didn't put this on social media, and by the way, it's important for me to promote you to your sphere that you are something special, because you are. And it's important for everyone in here to know how great their teammates are. Colin recently helped one of our agents so unselfishly, and it wound up with that agent getting their biggest check of their life this week. Woohoo! Thank you, Colin. Where'd you go? Oh,
I was trying to find.
Oh, Melissa's in the back asking more questions, so we're gonna have to come back to this.
Yes, we'll come
Answering
back to
more
that.
And more questions.
Fair enough.
More and more questions.
On the inside. What's that?
Are you looking for the bucket full?
That too.
Okay.
On the other side, we have a lot of cappers. So I'm gonna ask that you hold your applause till the end of them, but we have a lot of cappers. It's been a little bit since we talked about this, but we know this is the most important day for a Keller Williams agent, because after that, everything you earn for the rest of the year is 100%. So this is a huge day, and it's part of our commitment to agents to get them there, right? So starting off, Jackson Whitty and Lindsay Weiland, both with Steer Rude. Let's not give a hand, because I said don't do that. But yeah, there you go. Jana Riley and Tony Cater. Aaron and Steve Duckworth. Jeff Norberg. Tasha Wells. Corey Tudowa. All right, we do a hand now, because it's kind of in the middle. This is a little one. Andy Coates. Jason Oliver. John Hoffmeister. Corey Polfus. Shakri Isuiva and Bonnie Wen, let's give them a hand. We're not joking, we got way more to go. Rachel Megger, Candace Johnson, Brian Stordo, Hannah Hunter, Cole Caswell, and Lisa Regan, let's give them a hand. Not done. We got Kim Lindgren, Dennis Sytek, and that's the end.
But Kim's here.
So as you can imagine, that's a huge thing. And when we talk about profit share, this is a huge way that's all derived. And their hitting cap is such an important part of the deal, so we never want to discount that and how important it is that we celebrate those wins. Jamie, you ready to talk about some winners?
Absolutely, let's go.
Let's talk about some winners, top individual agents.
From June of this year, we have Tasha, Ryan, Bethany, Tina, Lisa, Rachel, Amber, Amanda, and Megan. Way to go.
So they are
Clap for yourself.
I'm-
Colin's not yours.
Oh yeah, let's take a moment, let's let Amanda cheer for something.
I was gonna follow Colin, but he.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
our listening queens and Ryan Custodio, by the way.
Yes.
Queens and Ryan.
And
All
next,
right, and close
closed
volume.
volume. Megan jumps to the front with Tasha, Tina, Ryan, Tony, Lisa, Emily, Chris, Bethany, and Rachel. Way to go.
All right, my favorite category, top teams.
Well, we have Corns, we have Kelly, and Property. And for closed volumes, the same. Way to go. Top group listings sold. We got HHG, Steerroot, Red Wing Homes, Cedar Haven, CMS, Michelle Hoagland. We have Jan Riley, Janie's, Team Counters, and North Star Commercial. And Chad heard his team name and walked right in.
That's what he did.
For closed volume, HHG, Steerroot, we Red Wing, Cedar Haven, Jana, Janie, Chad, Team Lucky Duck, Soda, and Hoagie.
We are keeping it busy there. Now we're moving on to profit share.
We do have profits.
We do have some profit share today. Let's go ahead and announce some profit share, folks. Steve Rawl, not surprisingly leading the pack there. David Christensen, Sarah Anderson, Jason Herkamp, Scotty Ringley, JD Tudewell, Scott Naz, Carly Duckworth, Chad again. There, he knew his name was gonna be out there today.
That's the last time, so you can leave now.
That's it. No more for you. But let's give everybody there a round of applause. Profit Passive income is a win.
It's the best day of the month for me. I get to notify these people of the money that's dropping into their account, and that's pretty awesome. So, all right, is Melissa still, she's still occupied, which is it. So those of you who don't know, we had one of these certification classes just prior to this, and there were a lot of extra questions. So Melissa is in the back room answering a lot of those questions. And real quick, there are people who show up to their job. There are people who do their job well. There are people who go above and beyond their job, and then there's Melissa. So let's let Melissa.
About something other than the NAR settlement.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, right. I just want to mention that back in May, actually, your ALC has been working so hard all year long. And back in May, we were given the kind of the challenge to do some research and to put together a position statement. It is not a policy, to put together a brokerage position on what we recommend for you to consider when thinking about arbitration. And then it was brought to my attention, though that was put in place, it was never presented at a team meeting. So I'm backing up a little bit here. But we want you to know that in September, if you have more questions about arbitration, I'll be teaching another arbitration class. And the Minnesota Association of Realtors does endorse arbitration. It's called the Residential Real Property Arbitration Program. And if you as the realtor decline arbitration, that negates your client's ability to be able to use it. So it is the KWPR position that it is in the client's best interest to do what they do, to do what they ask of you, essentially. However, you are an independent contractor, and if you feel strongly either for or against arbitration, you can do something different than your client. So the general position is just put in place to help you decide how you might want to handle it, and you can come to me with questions. Did we skip over this?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
sorry.
we just postponed it until
Okay,
now.
good. Okay, good.
Really?
Well, I'm not sure I see her in the room, but I have been the broker here at Keller Williams Preferred Realty since February 1st of 2021. And there is one particular agent that I am so excited for the current success that she's having because I have watched her go through so much. She worked as a solo agent and couldn't necessarily find her way, to the same success she has now. She tried a team. That team didn't really work for her. So she now is on a larger team and she is absolutely rocking it. And she is living proof to me that if something doesn't work the first time around, that doesn't mean you should just completely give up. You should try and you should try again. In the first year that I was the broker and that she and I worked together, she was hit with an arbitration suit, actually. She had to be there on behalf of her buyers who bought a house and they had to go through arbitration. She's been through some overwhelming and challenging things. She's completely transformed her health and her body, and so I give this Spirit Award to Candace. Inspiration, she would be a great one to give it to you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well done.
All right.
What we got next, Jason? Oh, we got Jason's surprise.
I have a surprise for you guys.
That he had hair.
A real surprise. Yeah, I did, right there on the edges, all on the edges. But this is a real surprise, especially for those of you who weren't here last week. This will be a surprise. thrive.kw.com/agent resources. You should go ahead and take a look at that. And while you're thinking about that,
oh, there's a big surprise. That's an incredible. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise.
not a surprise if you were here last week, but thrive.kw.com/agent
Resources.
There you go. Fantastic information, a tool built for you by Keller Williams that covers much of the NAR settlement, great dialogues, great advice from other agents, so many items on there. So make sure that if you haven't gone to there and checked it out, that you do. It's a website, it's not gonna hurt you, it don't bite. You can just go and be surprised at how much stuff is on that page. There you go, right? They will be surprised, but not from that. Amy.
Well, let's welcome, well, I'll be Toddy.
Baby.
Oh, nice, wow. Wow,
Between Jason and I,
parents, can't unhear that. So Toddy is, those you know, she's getting ready to duplicate herself. And she needs to spend more time at home, at the crib, chilling, as per doctor's orders. So they said, who's the next one who's probably in the second trimester? That'll be Jamie. So let's do that. Just want to let you know, we have Bold coming up. For those of you who don't know what Bold is, it's 7 weeks, 7 days, 36 hours of action-packed materials, and I'm not kidding. It starts on October 9th, and again, it's 1 day a week for 7 weeks. The tough news is, it's in Fridley. The great news is it's Hudson Warren. What about Hudson Warren? Hudson Warren went from very broken to $1 million producer in 5 years. He credits Bold. He's a MAPS coach who only coaches Bold. He did Bold here last year for part of the Twin Cities, and they are so enamored with him, so they opened it up to the entire Twin Cities, so it will sell out. Next week, he will speak to the team meeting. You'll get a flavor for how he conducts his business and the value he offers you. Just a reminder, agents that attend Bold average 11 pieces of business with 8 under contract. No better time than right now to reset looking at your database, your business, your marketing, your prospecting, and your growth. So that's coming. Be prepared. And then on the 12th, September 12th, we have Tara Allen. Is it Tara or Tara?
Tara.
Tara. I am terrible with that name. So Tara Allen will be here all the way from Sioux Falls. She is coming to teach the 6 personal perspectives. Jason and I have been talking about what's the theme for September, and it's a big one to get back to your foundation. We've had a lot of mix-up, and it's important to get back to your basics, your foundation. At one time you found your foundation. It's time to refine it again and revisit it. No better way than through the 6 personal perspectives with a great coach like her. And we have the ALC meeting coming up here on September 11th. I hope that's not kind of something indicative of, no, okay, so, no, it's, there's been a lot of thought and a lot of discussion put into our policies when it comes to listing and commissions and, compensation. And, it's just been wonderful. Our ALC has done a handful of emergency meetings so that, and given so much of their time and thought, and Colin has been a big help. And so anyway, that meeting's coming up for a vote. So highly encourage you to visit that meeting next, or a couple team meetings from now. Well, let's now welcome up from North Star Commercial, Caitlin Page.
I'll take like a minute. So my name is Caitlin. I am on the North Star Commercial team. So super simple. If you guys can all scan this QR code, it's gonna take you to a survey, roughly 5 questions. What it's gonna do is just help us find out what you guys want to know more about for commercial and how we can support you guys for that. There is, if you do fill it out, you'll get to the last question, so highly suggest filling it out because there's a good surprise at the end. But if you guys have any questions afterwards, after the meeting, just let me know and we can talk. Cool, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Caitlin, have you had a lot of success getting referrals from agents in here as well as sending them outbound?
Yes.
Okay, see,
Yeah.
yes.
So we want more.
Yes, consider them. So we will be working on that together, giving you opportunities of how to market to your sphere about commercial. Think about that there might be 1 or 2 deals a year in your sphere that we're missing out on right now because they don't think you do commercial. Well, maybe you don't, however, you've got a great teammate who does. All right, well, let's welcome Robert Thomas Holmes. Come on up, Simone.
Yay.
Hi everyone, I'm Simone Ekholm. I know quite a few of you. I have been with Keller Williams as well. I'm not anymore, but my husband is still at the Keller Williams in Apple Valley. I used to be the team leader and broker there, so know a lot of you and it's great to be back. I am now with Robert Thomas Holmes, and I know quite a few of you have shown them and worked with us in the past. So Robert Thomas Holmes and RT Urban Homes. We are under the Tradition Company umbrella. So these are all of our different companies. This packet of information, all the slides are in here, so you can take a look at that. I've got some up here if you didn't get one yet. But we are, Robert Thomas Holmes is a semi-custom builder, which means that you come to us, we have floor plans, and then we have all these different options, and then from there we can do custom options. So that's kind of what sets us apart. These are all the different locations that we are in currently. We've got lots of things coming up in the works, but these are all our different communities, and you can just go to our website and find all these locations. We offer different collections within each different community. I currently have, in the Spirit of Branston Farm neighborhood, where a lot of you are familiar with, down in Lakeville there by the Hy-Vee off of Pilot Knob, we've got the last 4 rooftop or Revelation townhomes, so 3 rooftop and 1 deck home, and then Spirit of Branston Farm is sold out. That was one of our neighborhoods that started in 2006, and after this, there'll be nothing left. So, next one, please. So these are the last 4 there. And then I have a new neighborhood that we just wanted to tell you about in Apple Valley. So if anyone has any villa buyers, this is right off of Pilot Knob and McAndrews. We've got 7 villa homes. They're 1 level with full basements. So if you're interested in that, the next couple slides are the 4 floor plans that we offer there. And then finally, there's another thing. We are now offering off-site builds. So we have not done that in the past, but if you have a customer that has already has a piece of land, or they're looking for a lot, once they have that, they can contact us and they can build off-site with us. They do have to work off of one of our floor plans, but again, we can do custom options. So that is very brand new to Robert Thomas Homes this year. This little spot here is in the Enclave in Lakeville. So I'm not doing off-site sales, John Schmidt is, but I am partnering with him on this little chunk. It's right off of Kenwood, south of 185th in Lakeville. There's just 9 lots there. So that's the Enclave. And then I think that was it. In the packet, my information is in the back. So if you want any information on Robert Thomas Homes or RT Urban Homes, please contact us. There is lunch provided today, and there's a whole bunch. I'm not
There's-
taking it with, so please make sure you
So much
eat
food.
twice. Any questions for me? No? Thank you so much.
Simone.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I gotta give her props. That was about as professionally well done as we've ever seen here.
That's where they're usually.
Let's give another hand to the excellent.
That was outstanding. Robert Thomas himself would be very proud. Well, this month, we went through this a lot faster, so now there's some time here that we didn't know for sure we would have, so this is cool. So this month, we've been focusing on value, and Jason and I go back and forth a lot. We are gonna have a valued squared class. Those of you who sat in on some of Gary's classes, leading up to this, again, Keller Williams was prepared to know that your value is going to be the biggest thing outside of contacting your database that you can be doing. So they had valued squared. It's a 3-hour class that they would do. Gary did it live. It's kind of comforting having the patriarch, so to speak, sitting there. It's almost like grandpa sitting there putting his arm around you saying, hey, everything's gonna be all right. Let's talk about your value. We're all gonna be good. So that is what we'll do, except don't worry, I won't put my arm around you or talk like that. That'll be on the 26th
26th of September,
September.
which is a huge part of building your foundation.
That is right. We're waking up when September ends.
No,
No, okay, never
you
mind.
gotta be ready before that.
Oh, okay, thanks. So we had this, we're gonna do a little refresher from the month because we think that this is very important. There's two main aspects of your value. Your unique value to them as their realtor, and then the value of you being a realtor that they would need. So one of the forms we showed when we did this was when you're listing, let's say you're sitting in a listing and you are, for 3.3%, this is what I do, or for 3%, this is what I do, for 3.3%, this is what I do to list your home. For 4, this is what I do. The different columns. The first column you list everything, for the most part, that a realtor does. Why do you do that? So that they see all the things that a realtor does, and you have to sell more so than ever the value of having a realtor working for them. The next column and the other next column after that would be your unique proposition, which we'll come back to here soon. And then we're gonna let Jason talk this. Jason is the biggest Simon Sinek geek in the world.
I'm not the biggest one,
Well, there's some taller than you, but.
That's true. When we talk about your unique value as a realtor, it is critical that you start with why. That's what truly connects you to people. When you think about the biggest companies out there, the biggest brands out there, they are more interested in gaining you as a customer because of why you would do business with them rather than what they do. The why is far more important than the what of your value proposition, and understanding that is super critical. And Simon does a great discussion about talking about your why and what he calls the golden circle. And that golden circle is the why in the center, and then the what and the how you do what you do. And those two things are also critical, but in the beginning, it starts with why. And Jamie and I, we talked about doing this a couple different ways, but I think, Jamie, what do we find out if we can help somebody today find their why? What do you think about that?
I think that'd be phenomenal, because first of all, if you remember from when we talked about it before, we can talk about our what and our how, but we earn their attention, we earn the right to be heard by them by sharing the why first. That's the part of the brain that helps them actually make their decisions. If you just go into, this is all we do, and you just go right into that, they're gonna gloss over. So we start with our why. So Jason, listen, who would like to develop their why right here live in front of the group? Oh, all right, Teja, let's go. All right.
So Teja, how this is gonna work is Jamie's gonna have 2 questions for you, and then I'm gonna follow it up with 3 questions. But in this process, we're gonna find your why.
Okay.
Okay. Well, how long have you been in real estate first? That's not one of the questions.
Over a year now.
Over a year, okay.
August was a year.
Can you articulate your best day in real estate? What was that like
So far.
so far?
Getting my license.
Okay, how about this too? Maybe we'll go here. So getting a license, remember how that felt? Well, no, let's stay there. So getting your license is your biggest day. Now, can you think back to when you're a little kid? And you had a moment where, where you just felt so proud or excited about something big in your life? Can you think back to that and are comfortable sharing? Is there any way you'd say it different? You good? Can you think of one?
Yes.
What you got?
When I graduated pre-K.
You graduated pre-K. Tell us more, please.
We went to this big church and I had my cap and gown and everybody was watching, so that was my moment.
Wow, I like that. So it sounds something like this. Oh, do you want to go with your wives or do you?
I'll move in with the next question.
All right.
Why does that stick with you now? What is so important about that moment? Why does that stick with you?
Because it showed accomplishments
Mm-hmm.
and starting from when you're that age, you don't know how to read or write, but going in and excelling at what you do, it was a good thing for me because I was always competitive.
You mentioned also the people around you. Tell me about that.
Strangers and familiar people.
So who would have been there that you knew?
Family, my mom, granddad, dad.
Why was it important for them to be there? Why was that important to you?
It's good to have someone witness your success.
Okay, but why them? I mean, I could have witnessed it, and I guarantee you felt better with your dad there than me, or your family, right?
Because it feels good sharing the moments with the people who you care about.
Okay, there we go. And why does that feel so good?
Because you take them on a journey with you.
Okay. So Jamie, tell me a little bit about what you're thinking here about her big why, just from what you've heard.
I'm thinking, why didn't I have one of those ceremonies? Maybe I didn't graduate. Olivia, check my resume. Well, it sounds like she is a person who, it means she gets a lot of excitement and energy and vibes. You can just feel her spirit glow larger when you talked about accomplishing things personally, goals, but then also with the people you love. Does that sound accurate?
And let me ask you a question. What is buying a home but accomplishing an enormous goal with the people you love? I mean, what more can a person do than provide a place for their family to live, to be safe, to have shelter, to have a place where those memories are gonna grow? What more really can a person do than that? I mean, that's like the stepping stone. So your why, the why you get up, the why you do things, that level, that feeling of accomplishment, you get to share that with your clients. That feeling of accomplishment, buying that home, that making your dream come true with the people you care about the most. That's why I do what I do. And that's why I want to help you today. When I say that, does it feel different?
It feels amazing.
That feels different than, well, I can open up doors for you. I can negotiate some contracts. I'm super. And last year I did $36,000 or $1 million worth of sales. That's why you should talk to me. No, you should talk to me. And I should be able to do business with you because I want to help you accomplish a lifelong dream of having the house that you've dreamed about and being able to share that with the people you care about. And I know about that feeling because I've had the chance to feel it myself. And that's why you should work with me. Now, I'll tell you a little bit how I'm going to get that done, but I think it's most important that you understand why you should work with me. And that's what starting with why is about. That's why it's so critical. That's why it's so important. And that's what he's talking about. That connection, you get the next realtor who comes in there doing that listing presentation is going to have all kinds of neat stuff about facts and figures and moving pencils around. And that is important. But it's not important until I know why I would want to start with you, right? Because You're gonna follow that up with facts and figures and all the things, but everybody else is just gonna have that they're hanging their hat on. And that's why you win every time, because it's about you.
And when doing that, you start a movement. What do I mean? Like one of the examples we talked about earlier in the month was Dr. Martin Luther King. It wasn't I have a list of items speech.
I have a plan.
I have a plan speech. It's I have a dream. And he didn't have to tell 250,000 to 500,000 people to show up at the mall that day without Facebook and without invites and Eventbrite and all that kind of stuff. He inspired a lot of people to do so. The agents that are successful in here with their sphere have ignited that movement. And it starts with the why. It doesn't have to be as long as eloquent as Jace. It's not that it was long, but he is really good with the pros, P-R-O-S. He's a pro at the pros.
Yeah, definitely not the well-paid athletes.
What's that? So it can just be as simple as, before we get started, one of the best feelings I had as a kid was when we accomplished big things, just stuff, even all the way back, I can remember to graduating preschool, my family was so proud, and just reaching those goals with loved ones felt so awesome, and I get to do this as a career now, and I'd love to do that with you. Let me share, permission to share how. And they're like, yeah, let's go, right? That's a lot different. So.
That's a big.
Does anyone else want to practice one quick?
We have
Anyone else with
time,
guts?
somebody else.
Who's got some guts? Got some good guts right there.
Thank you, y'all are good. I'm gonna use that.
Well, I hope so, god doggone it. Yeah.
Nobody else? Steve, let's talk about Steve, because you've got a little bit left in the tank. What's your why now?
The restroom's right down there.
Just a little bit.
And I think it's important to consider that his why now isn't the same as it used to be. And your why will change over time, but his why now is different, right? So what was your best day in real estate? Tell us about that.
My best day, I think, and I don't remember even the year or the date, but I sold $1 million in real estate in one day. I think it was about 15, 16 years ago, but that was one of my best days.
What was that like? I mean, why was that so great? Why did that?
Well, it was kind of a goal that I had set way back when I started.
Now, if I can clarify, when you
Yeah.
did this, that was like 25 homes, right? That was not that long ago, that they were about $4,000 a piece, right? But it was several homes, right? It was multiple closings you set up on the same day. And it was a goal that you set when you started in real estate. Or early on, after you kind of got your feet and figured it out.
And in a way, I just accomplished it again last week, but it wasn't nearly as big a deal
As that first time.
as the first time.
Absolutely. And tell me now, and you kind of have an idea of what your goal is now, what's your goal now?
Well, my goal is to combine my business with Colin and kind of work on my exit strategy to, my wife Carmen says I'll never retire from real estate. That's probably true.
That's her telling you that.
You're never doing it.
Just kidding.
Reverse psychology
Yeah.
happening right here.
That's called marriage.
But I'll spend a fair amount of time staying in touch with my past clients, but also recruiting people to Keller Williams. I love to do that. And there are ways to do it. It doesn't just have to be somebody you do a transaction with or somebody you know from your church or that's a realtor. You can recruit people to Keller Williams just like you can recruit them to anything. You know, a faith, a church, a philosophy of politics. You can recruit people that are showing that they have an interest in real estate to consider Keller Williams as their option when they get their license completed.
We can all do that, but why do you want to do that? Why does that interest you?
Well, I can, my wife and I set up a trust to go to our kids and grandkids, so, maybe I'll even adjust that a little bit and give it to, nonprofits.
Oh.
It's like, no adjustments, I'm counting on no adjustments.
I'd like to know more about this trust, please.
Seems to be a lack of trust here.
Why is that?
Well, some of them I've done transactions 2 or 3 times with them, and, they become friends, and, I've had 30-some years of experience, perhaps I can give them advice or, an opinion on something that if they had, if they're thinking about a move or a change, upsizing, downsizing, or whatever, I feel like I could give them, great advice, even though I'm not driving the bus, so to speak, when they do make that move up or down.
So, the relationships you build with your family, relationships you build with your clients, the relationship you have with your wife, and honoring those things is your big why. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And so when you think about that and you say, the reason you should do business with me, when it really comes down to it, the reason I wanted to earn your business is because I've built so many great relationships over the years through real estate that I want you to be part of my real estate family. I want to know that you're going to get great advice, that someone's looking out for your best interests. And I treat my clients like my family because the relationships I built over the last many years are some of the most valuable things I have. I want to do business with you. I way want to do business with you more than, honestly, Steve, you can show me your raw report, but that's going to tell me why you want to do business with me. Talking about relationships, earning relationships. I'm here to earn the relationship. Your business will come later.
Yeah.
We all know that. We all know that. But how do you communicate your history into a few sentences? And it starts with that experience, those experiences that have built you, and then asking yourself a few more times, why? Why is that important to me? And why is that important to me? And finally, why is that important to me? And that really digs down into what drives you and the difference you can make in people's lives and why you make a difference. And by talking about it, it forces you to come from the heart rather than from the mind. And we want to connect with each other. I mean, that's just part of being human. We want to connect versus talk. So, finding your why, we can do it. We can do it together. And if you have questions, this is the right forum for you. I'd love to sit down with you. I know Jamie would. We can talk through it anytime.
And we'll do the value sparing form of this.
Just another sidebar, I love Keller Williams, and when I'm talking to these people from all over the country that have come into, as a lead, wanting to know more about real estate, getting into real estate, I love to talk about the why of Keller Williams. It's just an awesome company, and it can change their life. It's changed many of our lives, I believe. Getting in here and discovering all, the value squared is just phenomenal.
So then, after you've done the connection, we've got to talk about continuing with what it is you're going to do for them. What is the actual plan? What do I actually provide for you? So at your base level, if you're building out a menu of services, these are the basics that you provide for every client. Transparency, explain how you're paid, who covers it, the buyer's options for payment, and ensuring that you turn off your phone before you start that presentation. That's really not cool. But understanding the breakdowns for fees. And this conversation now is a little different than it was 2 weeks ago, or a month ago, or 2 months ago, or 42 years ago. It's different, and that's okay. It's gonna change again in the future. Contract preparation, you do it, we review sales contracts with you and include any necessary addenda to strengthen your offer. Joe off the street does not know how to do this. He thinks he can wander in and make an offer, but we know it's far more complex than that. It's not just simple, I will give you $10,000. It's a lot more than that. Contingencies, you explain common contract contingencies and exclude protective clauses in your offer to safeguard your interests. Man, you did this slide, it still says 10. But think about that, I mean, contingencies, they're all things that can happen. You've all experienced something that's been a bump in the road and you have an idea or a plan on how to overcome that. The person without representation has no idea that these things can even happen, let alone how to overcome it when it does. And again, this is about proving your value now that you've identified the why. So identifying properties, absolutely. I'm gonna help you do that. I'm not suggesting it's not important. I'm just suggesting that they think they can do that on Zillow. So you've got to give them an idea of what value you provide beyond that. And things that are within their range, helping them narrow it down, helping them find that stuff. Agent networking. You guys have a network of agents you can talk to. You can find properties, for example, that are here, that are withheld, that they could never find on Zillow. And if you can make a deal like that, and you have a buyer who's maybe monetarily challenged, and I don't know anybody who isn't, but there are some people out there who are not, and you can get into a situation where you don't have to compete in a bidding war for a property, that is a huge win for those clients over someone who just looking on Zillow and MLS. Inspection review, you review the home inspection concerns, obtain bids, negotiate repairs, those are all things you're familiar with and you ensure a win-win outcome. Versus an unrepresented buyer who might think the point of a home inspection is to review cosmetic items and switch plate covers and weird stuff like that. You know better. And that's the kind of thing that gets people frustrated, sellers frustrated, and has their offers rejected. Yours don't, because you know and you coach them on that before the process. Full financial review, you know the costs that are involved. The guy off the street doesn't know that. They don't know these things. And again, if I'm reminding you of your value, that's good, but you've got to remind them of your value as well. Market analysis, you've all done one, you need to do one, you do more of them, you'll do them until you're blue in the face over the course of this career. But understanding the value of property and clearly communicating that to others is a huge part of what you can do that other people think they know, but they're not going off of facts. That's what you're providing. And finally, closing statements. You review your closing statement to make sure it's clear. They know what they're getting. Clarity, transparency, smoothness of transaction, ease of getting this done. Those are the things that people worry about.
All right, he was very articulate and said that pretty fun, but how many people started to go,
Don't raise your hands, I'm looking at you.
be honest, we started going, okay, yeah. That's why it's so important to win them up front. As they're hearing these important things, you did a great job. As they're hearing these important things, you've already won them over. They're kind of, okay, yeah, let's go. I just want to get started with you. I get it. Right? As opposed to you start with this stuff, geez.
And if you've created that menu of services, it's on the paper. You don't have to go through each one. Go through the ones that are important to that client. And understanding them, mirroring them, understanding who they are, whether they're owls or tigers or chimpanzees, I don't know, what are they?
Lambs and bulls are the
Lambs
other
and
two.
bulls, okay, yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess that'd be a bull there.
You could also call the tiger the squirrel.
Oh.
Everyone here can resonate with that one. Squirrel.
That one we all know.
I think we all resonate with a lot of bull.
So, once we've got that process and we're out there, Jamie, you guys did a great presentation, you and Melissa last week on the stages of the buyer consult. Tell us a little bit about how that goes.
Well, you guys, for those of you who are here, you might have seen the great screenplay, and Deja would have loved it with you love theater. We had a great theater theatrical event here. And the consult was just important to learn what they know. Hey, yeah, what have you heard in the news about the changes in real estate? And then shut up, let them tell you. So you're not telling them everything, you're just telling them what's important to them. Cover what agency is, you need to do that right away. You may be coming up against an agent who didn't do that, and immediately they're going, oh, this one's professional, my cousin is not. Multiple reminders, commissions are negotiable, just use the word negotiable a lot. And then, again, coming back to having marketing or materials that are different tiered. If you have one, 2, 3 tiers, let's say, when you're representing, looking to represent a seller. And then maybe have one that has 2 when representing a buyer. Now you've got evidence that it was negotiable, they can pick which one, right? You don't have to go back and go, oh my gosh, did I tell them it's negotiable, or they complain about it based on it. You have proof. And then fully cover lines 30 through 46, which we all know what that is.
On the buyer representation agreement.
Those are what are those, Melissa?
And we still don't know what that is.
I think going off memory, it's when we describe to them what our rate is or what our percentage is that we're contracting with them to get paid, and then also making sure not to miss where it says broker may not receive compensation for brokerage services provided to buyer from any source that exceeds the amount or rate agreed upon in this contract unless we mutually amend it.
So, with all the changes, this is what you get. That's the part that's new for the most part. You gotta have that presentation. Then, cool. Tell us more about that.
Well, we had a great example of how to call a listing agent and, to learn what they're offering. Again, you're gonna find also that agents will say, we are offering, however, put your best foot forward. You're gonna hear that a lot. So don't be discouraged if they don't give you a number. Still, make the offer, put your number in there. It's just one of the many terms of the offer. So be sure to, if you don't hear back, it's up to your clients if they're comfortable seeing the home or not. Again, it's negotiable. So you can put it in the contract, see what happens. We are seeing the XP agent sent back a signed form that's saying that they're gonna offer 2.5, I think it was in this case, with Andy. And then she wrote it into the contract as well. So she double dipped for Andy on his deal. She was basically saying, okay, here's 5%. So you're gonna have to have a lot of patience with people, a lot of grace. Grace with us too, I hope, as we're learning along with you live time what's going on out there. But you're going to see a lot of this, and your clients, if they're not comfortable seeing it, then they're not comfortable. However, give them that option. And ideally, you want the agreement signed first by the listing broker. Again, some companies won't be doing that. EXP has one broker per state basically, and we have basically a broker per agent. The way she's been working lately, she has been there for every single person as much time as they need, and still time for bad jokes. Okay.
And we are springing this on her, but we'd love for you to cover this part again.
Yes, I'd like to buy Rodeo Drive.
Because this is one of those points, if people have questions, this is where this is one of the big,
Yeah, for
big
sure.
spots.
Yeah, so this is in the purchase agreement. This is lines 405 through 408 of the purchase agreement, and when you are representing a buyer, it would be your natural human instinct that you would want to be sure to reiterate or clarify in the purchase agreement what your percentage of compensation is so that it matches what your buyer representation and contract is and their obligation. However, you would be asking a seller to overpay in compensation if you put that full amount in there and they have previously told you that they are paying out from broker to broker. A clarifying line in here is that it says seller agrees to pay buyer's broker. And when it comes from the seller, that's called concession. If it comes from the seller's broker, it's called compensation. So if you didn't get a cooperating broker compensation agreement, it was a verbal phone call, it was a text message or an email, and you're just not feeling very confident that that agent has shared the information with you properly, you would protect yourself and you would write that 2.7% in here. But you might get a counter offer back, and I think that is that the next slide. You might get a counter offer back then, and the counter offer would clarify that you see the attached cooperating broker compensation agreement, clarifying that the seller's broker agrees to pay buyer's broker, Keller Williams Preferred Realty, 2% of the cooperating compensation. Therefore, the seller agrees to pay the buyer's broker, KWPR, 0.7% of the gross selling price at closing to fulfill the buyer's obligation under their buyer representation agreement. Does that cover what you were hoping, or do you have some prompting
I think so.
questions for
I
me?
do, I don't have any questions, but I would at this point, absolutely, if people have questions, one last go round on this set of stuff. Who's got questions on these things? They're important words.
Yeah.
Do we prefer having the seller concession over the buyer, the broker compensation?
I personally think we're going to run into appraisal problems. And so I think it might be a good idea, my preference would be to have the compensation come from the listing realtor directly, rather than just stacking it on with closing costs and whatnot. But we don't have control over that when we're representing buyers, so we really don't have a choice where it comes from. Yes.
So would I be better off if I already have a contract signed, how much I was gonna pay percentage-wise out, to have 0 instead of 2.7?
Well, if you're talking about a listing agreement, if you're the listing realtor and I'm the buyer's realtor, and you do have a listing agreement that says you are paying out 2.7%, you would have also gotten a cooperating broker compensation agreement, which is a brand new form, and then you would want all of your offers to come in at 0 there, assuming the buyer's agents have a buyer representation contract of 2.7%. Okay. I think it just clicked for you. I'm going.
But we don't know what the buyer's broker compensation is.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
And after the ALC votes and we come up with that, we'll do more live with the seller's end of what some options look like.
Yeah, but this is gonna be a really tricky section for the next several months. And this is where, like they mentioned, you have to have a lot of grace and cooperation with one another. But you have to, in the end, before you execute that purchase agreement, make sure it's right. Because you wanna make sure and cover all or as much of your buyer obligation if you're representing a buyer. And if you're representing a seller, you need to make sure that they're not double paying commission, which would be the mistake that happens here a lot. It's clear as mud.
Thank
So
you.
easy.
Impromptu, she just gets up here and just bam! That's so impressive. And if you ever get an offer from team counters, there's always counter offers. So don't let that confuse you. I say we wrap it up here. As we're wrapping up the month of August, I hope you enjoy and get out to the state fair, have a good time. We, again, just went over value. You guys need to understand your value. Not only do you need to know your why so you can articulate it to the people, but Tage, every day that you get up, you think about that feeling and feel it, and it's gonna be a good day. So we need to replay like the highlight film of those moments in your head often. If we don't shower the mind with good things, it gets dirty. I don't mean dirty-minded, so don't take anything weird by that. What I mean is we gotta keep it full of the right things. And it's trickier these days. I will say this, with all the noise that's going on out there, I believe that this is a good time to be doing what we're doing. You may not feel it, it may feel a little clunky. However, I'm grateful that we're here together for such a time as this. You know, for Livy to have the foresight to put more boots on the ground to be able, for us to be able to be more versatile to help you in lifetime through this. I think once we get through the muck and adjust, I think we're gonna look back on this as probably the greatest opportunity of our career. So excited to be a part of that. Looking forward to next month where we're gonna go back to school on our foundation and really build that back up. And anything else, Jason?
I just want to point out that for all the stuff that's going on, look at all these cappers. If that's not the ultimate answer,
We go back.
I don't know where I'm going back.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Hey, there's Lindsay right there. Let's give it up. She so wants that.
But for all the stuff that's going on, look at all those cappers.
Speaking of campers, Kelly.
Maybe mention the happy hour tonight?
Oh, there's a happy hour tonight. It's gonna be 2 hours of happy.
2 hours of
That's
happy.
at Porterhouse. We call it the ALC Happy Hour. It does not mean you need to be on the ALC to be there. It's just an opportunity to really talk with, convene, enjoy life, could be anything, with the leaders of this office.
You there?
And that's a special opportunity.
I don't think it's important.
It's at Porter Creek.
Oh, it's Porter Creek. So if you go to Porterhouse, just hop on a boat down the creek. Is that right? Well, thank
There
you.
you go.
It's a porter of some kind.
It is
But there's a Porter House in Leadville, so you don't.
That's why you wanted
Yeah,
to
then-
make sure.
Be very clear that it is at Porter Creek,
Which is
Thank
down
you.
the street.
the Porter House.
Yes, look
It's by
at,
the Olive Garden on 42 in Burnsville.
Yes.
all right, yes, look at the calendar.
There was questions in the chat for the people online. Somebody put some questions in
Oh,
the chat.
is there a chat? And then tomorrow, we have the carnival. Now, we're gonna be aware of the weather. Sounds like there might be some rain, however, we'll adjust to it and keep you posted. Again, the biggest thing that's important about having events is being able to call your clients, your constituents, your sphere, leading up to it, and then following up with it. So when an event doesn't happen, not the worst thing in the world, it's just an opportunity to continue to discuss and share. And is there one?
Really, it was Kelly.
Kelly, thanks.
Oh, thank you. All right, let's go. Let's go have some food.
Crush it.
And be sure to thank Robert Thomas, well, Simone, for the food. Brainer, I saved your seat, you weren't here.